Hey everyone, it's CurlyHairedHero and welcome back to Jump Ultimate Star. Today we're going into the world of D.Gray-man. This is the world that I talked about a couple episodes back where I said I really want to play this game. I really want to sort of reformat how I'm doing these episodes just so that I can talk about the new series that came out recently that I just completely went on my radar, and I was just watching it and like reminiscing of all the other older stuff from the past series. But D.Gray-man, I didn't really look up the material just because I've seen the first episode, or sorry, I've seen all of the episodes minus a couple of the new ones. But I know the series relatively well. It revolves around the world where there's a guy called the Millennium Earl who has the power to turn. I don't know how to exactly to phrase it. It's a bit crazy in the intricate details, but I'm just gonna give you the main overview. He has the power to turn people that have passed away into demons, and he does this by coercing the loved ones to sort of allow that to happen. I don't know the exact terminology within the series. That's basically what it is. So he has the ability to turn the deceased into demons that can go out and wreak havoc and kill other people, and also they can infect them with a disease that turns them also into demons. So to combat that, there's a group of individuals known as exorcists who, as you can already imagine, take down the demons as exorcists. The only sort of main criteria to become an exorcist is that you have an innocence. Not like the actual one, but like it's something that sort of I don't exactly know what it is in terms of like matter, but it's just a thing that ends up becoming a weapon that you can use to take down the exorcist. And that's basically the main plot of the series. It's just the exorcist versus this guy known as Millennium Earl, and they're just trying to combat each other. It gets way more complicated going in, and I'm not gonna go into any of that just because I barely understand any of that. But as you can see here, I'm just fucking shit up here with Train. I actually ended up liking Train a lot when I was using him here. Just because, like, I don't know, I've never really given him a chance, but he's pretty interesting. As you can see there, I have a coma that I believe it blocks special attacks using my special bar. I believe that's what that does. He's also pretty interesting because he can, like, his shots are pretty fast. He's a pretty good character overall. I also didn't really do too great in this match. I mean, I did win, but I don't think I really did too great just because Train isn't exactly the most powerful, which is ironic because he is a power character. But he feels more like a knowledge character to me, quite frankly. But anyways, you can see that the gimmick for this mission is that the opponents that I'm facing, the two of them, they have the same exact deck as you, which is fitting into the world because a lot of people, or sorry, not a lot of people, a lot of the monsters, they'll take shape as the person that already passed away. And they'll, you know, pretend to be that person, and they'll end up, you know, infiltrating wherever they need to go and whatever. And then they'll just end up killing people once they get, you know, past their defenses and whatever. So that's why this world specifically has a doppelganger fight. That's also why the main character, Alan Walker, he has a multitude of different abilities, but one of them is I think it's called, no, it's not the Akuma Eye. I forgot what it's called, but it develops later on. At first it starts off as a weird monocle that hovers over his eye. Later on it's just kind of just internal, I believe. But he has a monocle, or he just has an ability, I should say, that lets him tell demons from actual people. So he can notice when, you know, people are just fucking straight up trying to fool bitches, which is really interesting. That's sort of what the main first couple of episodes revolve around. It's just them doing, you know, setting up stuff, but it's like, you know, people are like, oh, this is my best friend who I thought died, but he's actually not dead. And then all the other guys are like, And Alan's like, no, that's a fucking demon. And then they're like, no, he's not. And he's like, I'm a demon. And then they just kill everyone. Or hopefully not. The exorcists actually stop him. But yeah. There's not really much else I can say. I mean, I want to talk about more in terms of like the crazy convoluted plot that they have, but the only issue is that I don't remember it all that well. I didn't understand it, first of all, when I was actually watching it, and I didn't get it once I saw the new series. I got it even less. And I looked up like wiki, like, what is this? Who is that? What is going on? And I still don't really understand it, so I don't really want to bring it up, but I'll do it anyways. So yeah, we have the Millennium Earl. You know, he's summoning demons, causing havoc all over the world. On top of that, he also has his followers, which are called the Noah. And I'm pretty sure they're supposed to literally be people that were on Noah's Ark, or they're like the first people, one of those two things, because there's an actual sort of thing called Noah's Ark in the series, which you can kind of use to sort of, if I remember correctly, you can basically just teleport wherever you want. I believe that's how it works. Like, I can't even like understand that well, but you know, they're extremely powerful. They can also, they're sort of resistant to exorcist weapons, and they just go out and they literally just destroy exorcists. Like, they just fucking rip them out, rip their innocence out. Like, they're crazy. They fucking crazy strong. But I don't really know what their main sort of objective is. Really, I think they're trying to just kill everyone so that the Noah can take over the world, and like, just because they're the first ones, you know, I think that's what it is. Just because there's a lot going on in the show. Like, there's, you know, the whole exorcists versus demons, and then there's the fact that, you know, the main character, they think he's a demon just because of the way his innocence kind of changes and manipulates. But it turns out one of the other main characters, their innocence changes. And then there's the whole bureaucracy within the Black Order, which is where the exorcists are kind of from. They're, you know, because they're the government and whatever, they're all evil and shady and all this other shit. There's all that, and then, you know, when an exorcist, I guess it's, I think it's when an exorcist either loses his innocence, or he becomes a demon, or he makes a deal with the, or I forgot which one it is. There's a whole episode relating about that, which is something I was like, oh, whatever. That takes a whole fucking turn. It took way more episodes than it needed to. And then there's the fact that, you know, the protagonist gets completely destroyed at one point, and he's completely, you know, incapacitated basically, and they spend like a good giant arc just him getting back into fighting form basically, and they introduce a whole new breadth. Like, there's a lot that goes on in this series, and as far as I know of, it hasn't been completed yet. It's one of those things that's been going on for like the dawn of time, and they just don't they don't like end up finishing it off. Like, I'm sure the creator started it out with one thing and then added a couple elements, and I was like, oh yeah, this would be interesting, maybe this can develop into something. And then they didn't think they would make it this far, and they're like, ah, shit. I don't want this to end. I want it to keep going on a little bit longer, but I don't really know what to do. I feel like that's what happens with a lot of series. And that, well, okay, it's not so much that they don't want it to end. It's that the publisher doesn't let them end it. Like, you gotta keep making shit. This is why they add all these random elements and they stretch it out as far as possible, and ends up being extremely convoluted as opposed to the, you know, beginning stuff, because they spend so much time, instead of trying to develop a story, they spend time trying to develop a long form sort of thing, try to leave things as open-ended as possible so that they can, you know, pick it up later and keep on going, rather than, you know, focusing their time on developing a long cohesive story, which is why, for example, that happened a lot with Bleach, and can't really think of many other examples. I mean, I haven't seen Naruto. I think it worked out in the end. They kind of tied up the loose ends. Like, I think Naruto did that whole thing, but then it worked out. Like, they added a bunch of random elements to make it long form, but then, you know, in the end, it worked out. And then One Piece is kind of just One Piece. Like, it was kind of designed to be that way, I think. So that was just fine. Trying to think of another, couple of other series. Like, for example, what is it called? Shit, I talked about it in the first episode because I found it in the manga. Fuck, I read it a while back. Siren. That started out pretty simple, you know, basic concept, and they made it a lot longer, which was really interesting. And then they just abruptly ended it, which is also something that happens in a lot of these series. Like, they'll, you know, go out longer, but because it was stretched out, the audience tends not to really give a shit about it. So then the series doesn't do good, and then the author has to somehow, after all this padding and bullshit he or she adds, they have to just find a way to just put a definitive end to it. And it's just like, come on, man, you just fucked my series up the ass, and then now I just gotta put an end to it. Like, it's really unfortunate. I can't really think of too many examples, but I know that definitely happened with Siren. There was a couple other series I can't really think of at the moment, but I know that happened with Bleach. We know Bleach went on forever, but that's literally what happened. They were forced to stretch it out forever, and then they just kind of had to end it in those infamous 5 chapters that they had. And then I know that happened with Siren because it felt really weird and rushed at the end. They added all these elements and then once again had to wrap things up. I'm sure there's several different other series. Like I know it happened, for example, in the Slam Dunk anime. They kind of stretched shit out. Like the last couple of episodes, or the last sort of games I should say, took on like a bunch of episodes and they were kind of filler. Like, and then it kind of just ended. Like, it was really weird. I don't know. I'm looking at my background right now, the one I'm using for this video. Like, Gintama, the format is kind of supposed to be like that, so it doesn't work. Aisha 21, that had a solid run. There was no real bullshit in between. Maybe the ending part with the not the Christmas Bowl, the going to America. Maybe that was a little stretching it, but I mean that wasn't necessarily it. It was a nice sort of. I mean, I didn't like how the ending was. I mean, I'll talk more about it later on. But it just kind of felt kind of quick. Like, oh, we need to like squeeze in a couple more chapters. But I was already talking about Naruto. I don't know Saint Seiya well enough to discuss it. Man, Buso Renkin. Yeah, that happened to Buso Renkin, the anime. It was really weird. I felt like they had like a couple more seasons in them, and they had a good run. And then somewhere down the line, they just had to like forcefully just abruptly kind of end shit and like tie up all the loose ends. It felt kind of rushed to me. I'll talk more about that also when the episode comes up, which is really late actually, unless I change up how I unlock the levels, because I remember it would randomly unlock towards the end of the game, and I was like, oh shit, Buso Renkin's in this game. That's crazy. But whatever. We magically finally got the doppelganger battle, and that's gonna do it for today. Stay fresh.
Fear not, Junpei's here.